You ever have one of those days where everything goes wrong? Well, yesterday was one of those days for me, but let me tell you about it. It all started when I got this letter from my Homeowners Association saying that I had a code violation because I had a truck parked in my driveway. It said that if I didn't remove it immediately, they were going to have it towed away at my expense. So I decided I was going to go out, take a look at it, and see what was going on. As I'm driving out the front door, I get a call from a friend who tells me that he is getting a weird text message over and over again. He shows me his phone. It says this: "Attention residents, this is an emergency broadcast from the HOA. We have a code violation in our neighborhood. Code enforcement has been dispatched. Please do not resist arrest. Repeat, please do not resist arrest." He also gets another one that says this: "If you are the registered owner or the occupier of the residence located at 123 Main Street, you are hereby ordered to vacate the premises immediately. Failure to comply will result in your arrest." So I think, gee, this is strange. Why would I get an order like that? I haven't done anything wrong. Then I check my Ring camera footage and I see two unmarked cars pull up outside my house. Out jumps two men in uniforms, both wearing badges on their chest. They start knocking on my door. When I answer, they tell me that they are police officers and that I need to come outside with them so they can put me under arrest. Now, being a cop myself, I know that it's pretty bold to show up to somebody's house and tell them you're gonna not put them under arrest without telling them why or even giving them a chance to explain. But I was curious to hear what these guys were gonna say, so I decided to play along. I put my shoes on and I went outside and I asked them, "What's going on?" They told me that they were there to put me under arrest because I had a code violation. I said, "What code violation?" They said, "You have a truck parked in your driveway." I said, "Yes, but that's not a code violation." They said, "The HOA says it as a code violation and we're here to put you under arrest." Now, at this point, I'm starting to get angry. These guys had shown up to my house, essentially posing as police officers, to put me under arrest for a non-criminal offense. They showed up in unmarked cars. They identified themselves as police officers. I mean, really, this is textbook entrapment. At this point, I decided I had enough and I told these guys, "I am the chief of police. You guys are trespassing on my property and I am gonna have you arrested for attempted criminal trespass." The look on their faces was priceless. One guy turned white as a sheet and the other guy tried to make a run for it. But I stopped him and I called the real police and I said, "Hey, I need some help. I've got two guys here who were just trying to arrest me and they reclaiming to be police officers. They're currently trespassing on my property." And I gave them the description of the car. They ran the plates and found out that they were registered to a private investigator agency. When the cops arrived, I confronted these guys again and they admitted that they were private investigators working for the HOA. I asked them why they had badges on their chest and they said that they were told to wear them. I asked them why they were told to wear them and they said they were told to wear them to gain my compliance. They said that they were told to bring me in for questioning. And when I asked them what they were gonna do if I resisted arrest, they said they were told to use whatever force necessary to bring me into custody. Well, now they're in handcuffs and the real police are trying to figure out what happened. One of the officers asks me, "Why did you tell them you're a police officer? Why didn't you just let us handle it?" I explained to them that these guys had shown up at my house, claimed to be police officers, told me that I was under arrest and I needed to go with them without telling me what I had done. And then when I asked them why, they kept telling me that I had a code violation. And I wasn't sure what kind of code violation it was, but when I finally got a hold of the HOA, they wouldn't even tell me what it was. They just kept saying that I had to go down to the police station. I had no choice but to go with them. Well, as it turns out, these guys had been sent by the HOA to arrest several people in the neighborhood. And they were told that if anybody resisted, they should use any means necessary to bring them into custody. I'm guessing that means they could beat me up, taser me, pepper spray me, maybe even shoot me. Well, as it turns out, the HOA had filed several code complaints against me because I had a truck parked in my driveway. Now, this is in a neighborhood where most people have nice sedans or SUVs, but I drive a truck. I've always driven trucks and I don't see how that's a problem. But apparently it's a problem for the HOA. Well, after several hours of me sitting in a jail cell, the real police came and bailed me out. And they even apologized to me for what had happened. But the HOA still fined me for having a truck parked in my driveway. Well, I refused to pay the fine, so they took me to court. In court, the judge threw the case out because the HOA couldn't prove that I had done anything wrong. The judge actually said that having a truck parked in your driveway is not a crime and that the HOA didn't have the authority to put me in jail. Well, I thought that was the end of it, but it wasn't. About a week later, I got a call from my insurance company and they told me that my homeowner's insurance was canceled. And when I asked them why, they said it was because I had been arrested. I explained to them that these weren't real police officers and that I was arrested by the HOA. They didn't care. They said that according to their policy, if I had been arrested, they didn't matter if it was real police officers or not, they would cancel my policy. Well, I refused to pay the premium because I hadn't had insurance for the entire month. So I let the insurance lapse, and now I'm looking for a new insurance company. This whole situation has been a nightmare for me, all because the HOA doesn't like the way my truck looks. But the worst part of it is that I'm still paying the price for it. My insurance is canceled, I've been arrested. And to top it all off, I'm still paying the HOA dues every month. Well, I am hoping that this story will serve as a warning to other people out there who live in homeowners associations. If you're thinking about buying a house in a homeowners association, think twice. They may not like the way you live your life. They may not like the way your grass is cut or the color of your house. And if you don't conform, they may take extreme measures to force you to comply. And if you're already living in a homeowners association, make sure you read the rules carefully. Make sure you know what you can and can't do. And make sure you know that you're not being targeted by the HOA, because if you are, they won't hesitate to use the full force of the law to try to control you. I'm a real police officer and I approve this message.